I've been putting off making this mold for quite some time now. The one reason is because when you start, you've got to have enough time to go right through and get it finished. I don't want to make it, half of it today and then half of it tomorrow and have to do bonding layer, and it's just so much easier just to do it all in one shot. I've already spent some time waxing the plug. I've probably put, I think it was 7 layers of wax, and last night I applied a layer of PVA. So today it's just about doing the layup for the mold. So yeah, let's get to it. What's very important is the mix ratio. So by weight it's 100 to 15, by volume it's 100 to 29. So I'm using a scale, so I'm going to be going with 100 to 15. This is really heavy. The only thing that I don't like is that that's black and that's black, which is not good. Really, that should have been a different contrast in color, because you can see so much easier how your gel coat's going down. But we'll give it a go. So I never asked what the pot life was on this gel coat. Normally it gives you a decent amount of time, but I'm only mixing up small batches, 200 grams, as a precaution. Mixing up too much of this and keeping it in an enclosed container is just asking for trouble. But it's quite cool today. It's probably only about 18-20 degrees. I'm sure it'll be fine. Famous last words. But I can see that it requires a lot of mixing. This stuff is not easy to mix. If you don't mix properly, then you're going to end up with a section which stays soft, and that is just a nightmare. So rather spend a few more minutes mixing and doing it properly. It just saves you in the long run. To go and fix mold now, it's just unnecessary. So spend those few minutes extra mixing, making sure that it's beautifully mixed, is worth the time. So when you start to apply your gel coat, try and work from the one side of the mold across to the other strategically. Don't start in the middle and work outwards or whatever. Start from the one side and try and brush in the same direction with each brush stroke. If you brush left then right, there is a chance that you include a bubble into your gel coat. So start from the one side, move across to the other, and try and refrain from pouring the gel coat onto a unpainted section of the mold. This will leave lines on the mold, and there is a chance that you will include a bubble as well. So if you do want to pour out whatever you have left on the gel coat, in the pot, then pour it onto an existing section that you've already painted. Another really good trick is to use a blowtorch and try and get it on its lowest setting and quickly move over the surface of your plug. This will pop a tremendous amount of bubbles. You actually see it popping through the surface. It's very difficult to see in this video. The trick is to move really fast. If you pause and you hold still, you'll actually burn the gel coat. So it's a very fast sweeping motion. The reason why I'm doing it here at this stage is because I wasn't sure how fast this gel coat was going to kick. So I didn't want to paint the whole plug with gel coat and then come to the beginning and then it's already gelled. So I just did it in sections. I'd paint on some gel coat and then I'd go over it with a blowtorch, popping all the bubbles, and then apply another batch, and that's how I worked through it. I think I've made a bit of a oopsie. So if I look carefully, I can see there's a discoloration in the gel coat. You can see streaks in it, and I think it's because I never mixed the original pot, and some of the solids have sunk to the bottom, and now that I'm pouring them out, I think as a precaution I'm just mixing this some more. But I really hope I don't have a problem with this. This is going to be a nightmare. I've just figured out what it is. I think there's a wet spot of PVA from yesterday. Oh boy. So it's been about an hour. The gel coat's just starting to flash now. So it's time to get laying up. I'm ready. Let's get going. So I've mixed up 300 grams with a very slow cure hardener. So I've got all the time in the world. So the first thing I'm going to do is just wet out the whole part. So I've got some really sharp edges here. You can see how this glass is not wanting to stick in that corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a little bit of splooge, which is a little bit of a filler, just to fill in that corner, otherwise I'm going to have an air bubble there. Oops! So this is a little bit of cotton flock mixed with cavesol, and that'll do the trick. Beautiful. So the way I get around getting the fabric to go over this corner, if you just try and put a heavy fabric over here, you're going to get a bubble there. And the way I do it is by putting a little bit of cotton flocks and epoxy mix, and I fill in the radius and I give it a soft radius so that when I do go over this, it gives me a nice soft curvature. And from here I can now start putting bigger and bigger pieces of fabric. You can see how I filled it in here with micro balloons, sorry, not micro balloons, cavesol and cotton flock. Now a heavy 600 gram fabric can go straight over that area, and I'm going to do the exact same thing along this edge here. I'm just going to place splooge in there and then just go with one heavy fabric over the top of it. So that is 1.5 layers. I've still got a few places to go, another 8 layers to go, but it's getting there. So this is the first continuous layer that starts here and goes all the way over to here. You can see how I've splooged the corners to give it a soft radius. So I'm just about to put a continuous layer on this side. But overall, I'm very happy that it looks good. I think it's going to make a really nice mold. It's done. So I'm really happy with the finish of it. The one thing about it is you can kind of see through it, and that's because I applied one layer of gel coat, but I don't intend to make many parts, so that's why I only put one layer of gel coat. You can see a few blemishes in it, the lines from the PVA, but that's acceptable. To make one part, it's fine. I did want to make a better quality mold, but because of a few issues, I was like, yeah, it's not worth it. This is still very nice. It'll make a really nice part, but it'll need a little bit of post-processing, a bit of finishing to make it perfect. So yeah, that's the part. Now it's wax, 5 coats of wax, and then PVA, and then to start the layout process. So with this part, I'm still not sure how I want to do the carbon. I'm still a bit hooked on the forged carbon look, and I'm thinking of doing just this edge here, going up like that, just this section here, carbon, and then this here in twill. We'll see.